Genesis means origin.
The book tells about the creation of the universe.
The book tells about the creation of the universe.
The origin of mankind.
The origin of mankind.
Translate it.
El nombre Génesis significa origen. El libro habla acerca de la creación del universo.
And the origin of mankind.
El origen de
Mankind is, for example, in Spanish would be humanidad.
humanidad.
Exactly. Wait a minute. The beginning of sin and suffering in the world.
The beginning of sin and suffering in the world.
El comienzo.
El comienzo
Huh?
y el final.
No, of sin. Sin is sin. Repeat sin. Yeah, good. And about God's way of dealing with mankind.
And about God's way of dealing with mankind.
Can you translate it?
Y acerca de
La forma de qué?
la forma
Exactly. Huh? Genesis can be divided into two main parts.
Genesis can be divided into two main parts.
Translate it.
Génesis puede ser dividida en dos partes principales.
Okay. Chapter first
Chapters 1st
to 11.
to 11.
Okay, good. The creation of the world and the early history of the human race.
The creation of the world and the early history of the human race.
Okay, can you translate it into your mother tongue? Spanish?
La creación del mundo y las primeras historias de los humanos.
Exactly, very well. Here are the accounts of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, Noah, and the flood, and the Tower of Babylon.
Here are the accounts of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and
The flood.
the flood, and the Tower of Babylon.
Yeah, okay, if you don't understand that, okay, the accounts is, esos son ¿qué? Los relatos,
Los
accounts.
relatos de Adán y Eva, Caín y Abel, Noé y Arca.
And the flood means diluvio, inundación in Spanish, yeah, the Spanish equivalent.
Diluvio.
Yeah, it's okay. And the
La torre de Babilonia.
yeah, Babylonia, exactly, very well, good. Okay, chapters 12 to 15.
Chapters 12 to 15.
Translate?
Capítulo 12 al 50.
Yeah, okay. The history of the early ancestors of the Israelites. The first is Abraham, who was notable for his faith and his obedience to God.
The history of the early ancestors.
Of the early
Early ancestor of the
Israelites.
Israelites. The first is Abraham, who was notable for his faith and his obedience to God.
To God. Translate?
La historia de los primeros ancestros.
Okay. Then follow the stories of his son Isaac and grandson Jacob.
Then follow the stories of his son Isaac and grandson Jacob.
Translated into Spanish language.
Entonces, siguen las historias de su hijo Isaac y su nieto Jacob.
Also called Israel.
Also called Israel. And of Jacob's 12 sons.
Okay, translate it. And of Jacob's 12 sons.
And of Jacob's 12 sons.
Translate.
Y Jacob, 12 hijos.
¿Los 12 hijos de quién?
Los 12 hijos de vehículo.
Yeah, in this case, the is indicates possession. You understand that? It's not a verb to be. It indicates possession. You know, the founders of the 12 tribes of Israel.
The founders of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Translate. Fundador in Spanish.
Los fundadores.
Exactly, the tribes of Israel. Special attention is given to one of the sons, Joseph, and the events that brought Jacob and his other sons with their families to live in Egypt.
Special attention is given to one of the sons, Joseph, and the events that brought Jacob and his other sons with their families to live
in Egypt. Translate.
Especial atención es dada a uno de los hijos, esposo.
Okay.
En los eventos que partieron.
That brought. Remember the song to bring brought what? To rest, sorry? To bring brought. To bring means traje. And in the past passive, remember brought.
Trajeron a Jacob y sus otros hijos con sus familias a vivir en Egipto.
Exactly. That's what. Do you remember now the verb? To bring brought what?
To bring brought.
That's the idea. To bring. Yeah. So it was in the past when I was teaching when you were in third grade, no? Primary school. Okay, good. Okay. While this book tells stories about people. Translate. While mientras en hispano
este libro habla de historias acerca de personas.
It is first and foremost an account of what God has done.
It is first and foremost an account of what God has done.
Translate.
Es primero y foremost.
Es importante.
Es primero.
Y and foremost an account. Y es importante, como algo importante, ¿no? An account, un relato.
Un relato de
of what God. Exactly, very well. It begins with the affirmation that God created the universe.
It begins with the affirmation that God created the universe.
Translate.
Esto empieza con la afirmación de que.
Okay, good. In that case, for example, and it ends with a promise that God will continue to show His concern for His people.
And it ends with a promise that God will continue to show His concern for His people.
I mean, His concern, no? His concern for His people. Translate in Spanish language.
Y esto termina con la promesa que va a continuar.
Oh no, will continue. Continue again.
Continuará mostrando su
concern,
su preocupación por su gente.
Or su pueblo. It could be people as well. People, gente, pero okay, in Spanish language. Okay, throughout the book, the main character is God.
The main character is God.
Translate in Spanish language. Throughout, a lo largo
del libro, el principal personaje.
Okay, that is good translation. This is the word to judge. Who judge and punishes those who do wrong.
Who judge and punishes those who do wrong. Wrong. Quien juzga y castiga a aquellos que lo hacen mal.
Que hacen mal. Who do wrong. Okay.
Wrong.
Leads and helps his people.
Leads and helps his people.
Lidera y qué?
Lidera y ayuda a su gente, a su pueblo.
Good, in that case, okay. and shape. The verb to shape is dar forma. In Spanish would be a translation, like equivalent. And shapes their history.
And shapes their history.
Y les da ¿qué? Les da forma.
Les da forma a su historia.
¿A la historia de quién? To the history of their people. Do you understand? Their people history. Those people history. That would be better said in that way. This ancient book was written to record the story of the people's faith and to help keep that faith alive.
This ancient book was written to record the history of people's faith and to help keep that faith alive.
Translate if you can.
Este libro antiguo fue escrito para what means record?
To record what we are doing.
Para grabar.
Uh-huh.
Para grabar la historia
Okay, that's good. Outline of contents.
Outline of content.
Outline is like, for example, a preview, un avance de lo que o una, something like that. So like if you can say, for example, creation. I did the first chapter, creation of the universe and of mankind.
Creation of the universe and of mankind.
Translate it.
Creación del universo y de la humanidad.
Okay, good. The beginning of sin and suffering.
The beginning of sin and suffering.
Translate it. Okay, that's good. That's better. From Adam to Noah.
From Adam to Noah. De Adán a Noé.
Good. There's another chapter. Another chapter. Noah and the flood.
Noah and the flood. Noah y
Same. Okay. The towers of Babylon.
The Tower of Babylon.
Translate it.
La Torre de Babilonia.
Good. Okay. The next chapter. From Shem to Abraham.
From Shem to Abraham.
Translate.
De Shem a Abraham.
Yeah, it's also the name of some characters of this book. Okay, by the way, this is the most famous book in history, in the history of mankind. Actually, it's still famous. It's always it's been always successful, all generations. This is the most famous book, probably. Probably not. It is a fact. Okay, good. The patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Patriarchs.
Yeah,
ABC, no? The patriarchs.
Patriarchs. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Isaac and Jacob. Okay, so this?
Los patriarcas Abraham, Isaac y Jacob.
Okay, that's the idea. And in the next chapter, the descendants of Esau.
The descendants of Esau. Los descendientes de
Esau. So it will be like okay, that's those kind of names, of course. Is different. There are no English language. The names in English. From the English language culture. They are from a different culture, different. But you have to know it at least the idea. Joseph and his brothers. Okay, that's good. The next one, the Israelites in Egypt.
The Israelis in Egypt.
Close it. Okay, now close it, and if you close the Bible. We're going to continue, but now, can you read this really typical?
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Translate.
La serenidad para aceptar las cosas que yo no puedo cambiar, coraje para cambiar las cosas que puedo y la sabiduría para saber la diferencia.
Okay, so you're learning this this book about the Bible, but of course in English, your native language is Spanish. So, but this, me as a professor, I discovered many years ago, even with my daughter, that this speed up, accelerate the English language learning process. Do you understand that? I mean, you have read this, but I mean, last week you read another part of the book, and I think, do you feel better now in English? I mean, you are understanding much better. So this book is not only important for the Christian people, like are you part of the Christian community?
Yeah.
Okay, so not only in that sense, it also helps you can feel it too, to learn what? Not only the holy history about the Bible. I'm talking about the language you're learning. What's the language you're learning? English. So, I mean, have you felt that it had helped you or not? Really? Okay, that's it.